Hello and welcome. In this video, we are going to be learning how to play Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin. So if you think this song sounds good on the guitar, just wait till you hear how amazing it sounds on the piano. Let's dive in. Okay, so we're gonna begin with the iconic intro of this song, and we actually start in an A minor in first inversion shape. And so you want to have your 1 and your 2 and your 4 fingers ready because we have to travel up from there. And our left hand is just playing chord notes. We've kept it really simple on the notation so you can play basically the notes that are being shown above the measures. So we start with the left. And we're still in that A minor shape. Replace your 5 for your 4 here, otherwise you'll run into trouble. 2, 1, 5, and then you could play probably, I'd use my 3 here. Down to A, and then F here, we're gonna play our 5 finger on the E, C, A, C, Look at that, we're in an A minor chord shape, but there's F on the bass, and that's what makes it an F major 7. Okay, and then G, A, and then you're gonna still play this A, G, A, and look at this, 2, 3, 5, and if you don't rotate your wrists while you play this, you're gonna have big trouble. So make sure you're letting go of the notes that you've previously played so that you can reach up into the shapes that you need to. So let's go back from measure 5. Up to that B, 2, 1, 4. Very similar to the first line. And here's that beautiful juicy chord shape. Stop there, because those first 2 lines are like the iconic bit of the intro. As soon as you start to play those notes, people will be like, oh, that's Stairway to Heaven, and you'll have their attention. So practice those and get really comfortable with them. When you're comfortable with them, then you can move on to the next 2 lines and work on this new section. And so here we've got an E with our right hand and a C with our left hand. And I always think ahead a little bit and when I'm deciding what finger numbers to use at the beginning of a line. So here I have a C and it moves up to D and then down to F. So I'm like, okay, well, how am I gonna fit that under my fingers? Probably by playing my 2 finger on the C. And then we've got C here. We move to D and F sharp, and then up here to A. And then this beautiful little harmonized bit, we've got E and G. Drop your 3 to your 2. And then these quick notes, and then the left hand walks us back up. I like to play this with my 2. And then my 3 here. And then you could reset to any finger you want because you've got time. Or you could stay where you were. Sometimes I move my finger positions and I don't need to. And that is the second section. So spend time there and get that all cozy and comfy. So altogether, that intro will sound something like this. And I am using the pedal. And you can use dynamics to get dramatic. So that's how that little section will sound once you've got it up to speed, and then you get onto the fun stuff, which is the melody of the song. And all of this, at least for the beginning, lies under this little A minor scale. So I'm going to walk you through the first little bit here. Look at, we're just staying under that A minor shape. And once you learn that, it repeats a lot through the song. So let's go through that slowly. My left hand is simply matching the chord tones listed in the chords above all the measures. And I'll talk to you at the end of this video really quick about how you can spice up that left hand really, really simply. But for now, keep it simple while you get the melody learned. So you can play this A here. And then this left hand repeats, and then we're gonna move it up to the F, and our hands are gonna work together here. When she gets there, she knows if the stores are all closed. With a word, she can get what she came for. So you can see that little bit repeats, and the only sort of tricky thing for the hands is when you have to kind of cross over. Buying a stairway to. So I just use my 2 finger up and over my 1 to heaven, and then I can come right back over. And the great thing is that's kind of where most of the rest of the song stays. So if we were to continue on, so let's pick up at measure 23. So we've got F here and E here. I'm gonna use my 5 finger. Word she can get what, there's that crossover. And then our left hand, do, do, ooh, ooh, and she's, now here, you're gonna be a little bit creative with your finger choices. I might decide to tuck my thumb under, buying a stair. Now, just like a scale, I'll cross my 3 over, way to heaven. And the great news is, you just go back to the beginning of the A section and you carry on, and when you get to the end of measure 23, you skip ahead to measure 29 to the second ending of the section of the song. And so there you land on given. And then we get this cool little part where we're playing full chords. So here's what's happening. We've got an A, nope, we got a C, we got a C shape in our right hand, and an A, oh, it sounds so good, in our left hand. And we're gonna count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then we're gonna go. So B with E, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then we hold this for 4, 3, 4, got F sharp ready right onto this 2 finger. And then we get to play those really juicy sounding chords again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and here's that fun little bit again. And then we're gonna go A with a D. There's a, oh, guess what? It's almost exactly what you've already learned, with some small little changes to the melody and a little bit of a different left hand line. So instead of starting the left hand on an A minor, we've got a C. Those are complementary chords. They're related to each other, relative major and minor, which is why that choice works in the song. And it just gives the ear something like a little bit different to grab onto, which is one of the things I love most about this song. Is it's very long when you listen to the original version, and there's a lot of repetition, but it's always just a little bit different, so you stay curious and interested. So as you practice the B section of this song, just be mindful that the right hand's gonna feel almost the same as what was in the A section, and the left hand will have a few small differences. So once you've got the B section, it'll sound a bit like this. Jazz it up a little bit, which you're welcome to do as well, but that's basically what it sounds like, almost identical. So once we've got that B section under our belts, we've got the C section, which is another like sort of like diversion on that melody, and it's got this descending line that's really cool. It's so fun to play. We start on E, so you can count this out beat for beat. I've heard this song so many times that I think my body just sort of interprets the rhythm the way it wants to. And so I would encourage you to allow that for yourself too. When I read notes, it's always as a guide, unless I'm practicing classical music, then I really cooperate with what the page says. But in situations like this, you can kind of use this as a guideline. And if you have your musicality developed to the point where you can just sort of like flow with the rhythms, go with it. Improvise this a bit. So we're going to start with the C in the right hand. Notice my 2 on the A. So I have space to move. Left hand walks us up. And that's that part. It repeats. So you can play it twice. notes. And then things get really crazy in the D section, because in the song, this is where it gets quite rock and roll. I feel like most of the song kind of has like a classical vibe, actually. It feels very classically inspired. Except for the D section when it's like, and when we wind down the road, pop, pop, pop. That's not how it goes at all. But we'll play it nicely on the piano now. So we're gonna play A here and A here. So let's just sort of get a feel for what the right hand's doing first. So we can begin by counting this part very slowly, because there are some complex rhythms. We've got 16th notes, and then we've got some dotted 8th notes, and those can feel difficult to play. So if I'm perfectly honest, when I'm just enjoying the song, I'm just feeling it out, and I'm not playing it exactly as written. I'm just going with what feels good for me. But if you want to count this out and play it exactly as it's written, you're going to want to think 1 E and a, 2 E and a, because that's going to help you to place all the rhythms. So you're going to think 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. And that's how that part is counted. So you can print the music, we've got that included for you below, and you can write in the counting to help you place everything. And then we have another measure similar to the first one that we encountered. So we're gonna go 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, it's tricky, 4 E and a, and then we're moving back into the 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. And that's how this section goes. It takes lots of slow practice to really nail that. If I'm honest with you, when I play it, this is what it sounds like. When I'm not counting and I'm just kind of feeling it. Some creative liberties there. And once you have the confidence with the song, and depending on your confidence with just playing chords in general, you can interpret this however you like. It's a really rock and roll part of the song, so feel free to get a little crazy with it. But if you want, you've got the notes. You can slow it down, count them out. Remember, when it comes to learning rhythms and learning a song, you really do have to approach this with slowness. You're gonna work in chunks at a time. You're gonna count out loud. I've even written the rhythms on my page to help guide me to make sure that I'm showing it exactly perfectly. When I practice this, I have to count out loud to make sure that I'm matching them all exactly the way they're supposed to be. So just know that it doesn't really matter for a lot of us where we are in our learning journey. Sometimes we still gotta write in those rhythms and practice slowly and intentionally. And the great news is after you've accomplished all the hard work of that D section, you're at the end, and there's only one line of the song left. Yes, and you've already basically played it before. So A up high, use your thumb so that you have your 5-finger ready here to play the E, and then F, and then you travel back down and you can get really dramatic. And that was a mistake. I should have probably played that C with my 3rd finger. And she's buying a stairway to, and then you're gonna play A, and then you're gonna play C, heaven. And that's the end of the song. And so if you've played the previous section with a lot of drama and intensity, that rock and roll part, and then you get this last line and you play it really delicately, you're gonna have this amazing contrast that just pulls your listener in, and they're gonna be like, wow, that was amazing. Okay, so I promised you earlier that I would show you ways to fancy up that left hand, and if we go back to the A section, I'll show you something that's just super simple. If you know your chords, if you don't have a strong understanding of chords, this might feel a little bit overwhelming, so take it with a grain of salt. But essentially what you can do is get your left hand into the shape of the chord that's shown above the measure. So for A minor, you're gonna be in the A minor shape. So you'd play the top and the bottom note of that chord. Now here we have an A minor / G sharp. So we're gonna play the G sharp in the bass and keep the top of the A minor chord at the top of that shape. And now we have an A minor / G. So we're gonna play the G in our left hand and then keep the top of that A minor chord still in the top of our shape. same thing for D slash F sharp. So we're gonna play F sharp, this one's a little bit unique, and then play D on the top. You kind of want to find the note that fits the chord that's shown first, closest to the 5 notes apart shape here. So just trust me for these ones. And then these move quick, so you can just play them solid. And then you can carry on. Does that sound pretty? And so that's an idea that you can use to kind of just start to fancy up that left hand. Okay, so that's it. Now it's up to you to go and practice and have fun and explore and be creative. Because the song is so iconic, you've probably heard it a whole bunch of times, and you're going to have parts of the song sort of already ingrained into your mind, your hands. So as you play, allow yourself some freedom to be creative with it, to allow your instincts to kick in and to carry you through. Use the notes to help you when you get stuck, and most of all, have fun. So if there are any other classic songs that maybe have been typically, played by other instruments like the guitar that you'd like to learn on the piano, comment below and maybe we'll get a tutorial up for you in the future. All right, happy practicing.